So with that, I got these two items remaining, and I want to swap the order. Let me do the free body diagram drawing first. There was a new model of ChatGPT released, and when I tested out briefly, it looked like it could do free body diagram drawing, which the older model simply couldn't do. When I tried to draw a free body diagram, you have past recordings that attempted that. It either went to DALL-E, which generates an artistic drawing that has nothing to do with the technical correctness, or sometimes it went through a plot generation algorithm program, which didn't really create accurate drawings. But it looked like when I was testing this out yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? Like when ChatGPT 01 release came out, I think it was yesterday. It looked like it could do a fairly accurate free body diagram using ASCII art. So I want to give it a try. So this is an old assignment, way earlier in the semester. 11 questions, just drawing free body diagrams. Let me try putting this through ChatGPT and see how well it does. So, if it looks like it's not doing so well, then I will just not do the rest. One time when I was doing this, it took like an hour to do the whole thing. A lot of times it kind of crashed and I had to redo it. But so let me make sure I'm using the new model, 01, and I'll ask it to draw a free body diagram. I have some physics problem solving situations that need free body diagrams drawn. I'll post screenshots. Can you draw me free body diagrams and maybe explain it briefly? Thank you. And I'll wait for the response and then paste this in. So let me paste that in and let's see how well it does. I think in the past it's done this one okay, but let's see. This is the OpenAI's new thinking model, which goes through this. Oh, I thought it was supposed to show the steps. All right, it's not, but never mind. Description of scenario. Yeah, this it could do before. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the drawing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is, I think, the scenario where I can imagine it being useful. So it could do these descriptions before. So even with the older model, ChatGPT 4.0, you could ask it for description of free body diagram, and as a thinking human being, you could read through it and try to draw it yourself. And that might have worked for you. In fact, I've done demos that look exactly like that. And suppose you had just difficulty visualizing those arrows pictures, then I think this ASCII art is actually useful. It kind of gives you an idea of how the free body diagram should look like. Now, it's not quite complete in the sense that, if I were drawing it, there'll be arrow ending this tip, and these angles would kind of match the angle of the string a little bit better. This is kind of restrictions of an ASCII art, but it's a kind of a visual representation that's getting pretty close. So yeah. I used to tell people ChatGPT can't draw diagrams, but maybe that's not true anymore. I mean, it's doing ASCII art. So let me see if instead of ASCII art, can you do a higher quality drawing? Maybe it can only do ASCII art. If we can only do ASCII art, I think we can go with it. In terms of people trying to learn, then yeah, it's actually getting farther away, so never mind. All right, I have another situation. See attached. Now, it in the older version, ChatGPT just couldn't do inclined plane. Even descriptions were often had mistakes in it. So I'm interested in seeing the quality of its free body diagram in situations involving inclined plane, which is it still? I guess this is an illustration of the slope. Uh, let's see. Oh, can we go back to the previous quality? It's a higher quality is actually not doing so well. Huh. It's possible. Let me give it a try. This is a jumble of mess. I'll just do a new chat and just try this. It's possible that it still can't do free body diagram, at least not with any kind of accuracy. Identify forces. Free body. Can you draw the free body diagram? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this is not good. All right, let's just check a few. Yeah, and this is incomplete, kinda. Yeah, this is not like a fully two-dimensional thing. Yeah, so let me go back to my previous thread, and we'll just. I'll just paste each of these and see, like quickly evaluate how well ChatGPT has done. It's possible that it still can't draw free body diagram, at least not in any accurate way in a challenging situation. So for this situation, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, normal force. It's not showing the incline. MG says straight down, but it's going at a wrong angle. Yeah, that's not a good diagram. Let's keep going. But at least it's generating these responses much more quickly, and it's not crashing. Well, compared to I think about a year ago when I was trying this with the ChatGPT 4. So this might be really short session, especially if these drawings are gonna be at not so good of a yeah. This is again not good and should be at an angle. Yeah, this is not good. So again, I think so. I'm not really reading through the word descriptions, but usually the word descriptions in the past were helpful. So I imagine they still are. And so if you are reading through the word description and trying to draw free body diagram figures on your own, helped by the word description, I think that might help. And I think this free body diagram is probably, it's not quite correct. So it's correct that it's drawing M1 and M2 separately, but for M1, this is the representation of the object, and this tension force should really be drawn up here so that it looks like it's going up from the object. It should not be drawn this way. So this is like if I saw this as your free body diagram drawn, by hand, I would say, oh, that doesn't look right. Why is your arrow pointing towards the object? So that's not good. Let's look at this one. Question 6 might be challenging. Even students, thinking human beings, sometimes get it wrong because it's kind of challenging one to draw, picking a correct or useful snapshot. But we'll see how well this does. Again, I'm not really reading. String passes into the page. Okay, so you're looking from right in there. So tension into the page, mg dot. So the forces are correctly identified, but this is still not a good diagram. This N should be drawn from here going up. Yeah, and I would actually prefer like view from like this position here, looking at, so the tension goes to the left. But that's more of a stylistic choice. arrows, making arrows look like they always originate from the dot, that is not so much of a stylistic choice. That's fairly common convention. Like all the other physicists I know draw their free body diagrams that way. It's only students who draw sometimes, like a force arrows pointing into the dot, which sometimes I get that you are trying to illustrate a force that's pushing, but whether to push or pull the way professional free body diagrams are drawn doesn't matter. So this is again very confusing, not helpful diagram. So I think I can still say at least the ChatGPT 01 does not draw correct free body diagram. That I think that statement, which is what I've been saying for last year using ChatGPT 4 and then ChatGPT 4.0. The statement still continues to be correct for 01 model. Now, there's a new model out there, 01 Pro, but I don't have access to that. Costs $200 a month. I might pay for it for 1 month in the next semester, maybe, just to, try a few questions. But yeah, I'm not paying for $200 a month subscription for an entire year. At least not without there being a really good reason. Yeah, this is wrong too. For a point A, N should not be at an angle. It should be straight down. Yeah. So it's definitely not drawing good free body diagram. So let me just finish up so that we can just see what types of question, if any, it performs well. I would say, if you have a one-dimensional setup, it does well. But doing well in one-dimensional setup, everybody does. So I don't think that's much of an accomplishment. So there are ways to interpret these as being drawn correctly, but like friction is definitely wrong. Should be along the ramp, and this like if I were a student who from the word description of ChatGPT couldn't draw the diagram well on my own, I think looking at this ASCII art, I don't think it really helps me. So I think I'm still well justified in saying that ChatGPT doesn't know how to draw a free body diagram. Yet. Not well. So let me just look at this one and we'll wrap up with the question 11, which, this, it even, I guess there's tension, but it has to show tension as going up at an angle. So, wait, is this something different? 1 kilo. Sorry. For the 1 kilogram block, this is actually correct. It's. You should combine this all into one. But normal force, gravity, friction, tension, horizontal to the right. Okay, that's good. It's read the answer. Let's look at 3.0 kilogram block. Gravity down, normal force up, friction that way. Tension that way, good. Apply the force that way. So I guess the only thing I would fault is all these arrows, they should be drawn like they're originating from this dot. Also, this arrow. But in terms of identifying forces and their directions, this actually looks okay. Finally, but I guess the hidden thing is you have to I've learned over the last 10 minutes or so, learn to ignore these extraneous auxiliary figures. Which I guess is hard to draw with the ASCII art. So when I do draw my free body diagram, I do draw auxiliary figures that helps me identify some angles. I usually draw them with like a dotted line to distinguish them from the arrows I draw for the forces. But in ASCII art limitation, that can be challenging to represent that kind of distinction clearly. And this, M1, that's crap. Like you should draw F at an angle, and this is not doing this. This is terrible. Friction force, okay, to the left. M1, and it's missing the reaction friction force. Wait, is it? No. Let's see. Yeah. This so the friction force on M2 should be. Oh wait, this is still M1, right? a cleaner representation. Yeah, this. I mean, I don't like this broken into components thing, but this is fine. M2. Let's look. Oh yeah, it identified the friction to correct. So question 11, I think it kind of got it right. So if I to give a quick judgment, what I had to say is it does have some capability to draw free body diagram. It does okay with the situations like this, mostly one-dimensional situation with some force at an angle. But where it really struggles is where the setup itself contains like tilted axis, where you have inclined plane, which is kind of ironic. When I think of physics problems that require free body diagram, like inclined planes are the classic textbook problem. I would have thought there would be so many training examples, but hey, ChatGPT just can't draw correct free body diagram that involves inclined plane. Not yet. It's something that I'll keep testing in the future because, it's such a specific weakness that I have to imagine someone is going to close that weakness at some point. Either it's going to be a third-party app that uses GPT as backend but have that specialization built in, or maybe it's through the main model's improvement. So I don't think in some near future this statement won't be true, but for the moment with the ChatGPT 01 model that was released yesterday, it remains true that ChatGPT cannot draw correct free body diagrams most of the time, especially when the diagram is fully two-dimensional.